is where 100 years of Disney dreams come to life at the Disneyland Resort.
People are buzzing about my highly rated bedrooms, like my Tremont Queen bedroom set, my romantic Scarlet collection. Go glam with Diva too. See what all the buzz is about at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Good morning, I'm Frank Buckley. President Biden said to be gearing up for his re-election campaign. However, a new poll shows a majority of Americans don't think he should seek a second term. That same survey shows Americans are not ready for a 2020 rematch. We'll explain.
I'm Eric Spillman. Navy SEAL commandos lead a daring rescue mission under cover of darkness to evacuate American diplomats from the fighting in Sudan. How they did it, coming up.
Good morning, I'm Lena Bovian reporting live here in Hollywood. Coming up next, today marks the 108th commemoration of the Armenian genocide. We'll be talking about the events taking place today, plus a message from President Biden and Governor Newsom.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. Some local beaches are back open while others remain closed after a massive sewage spill. We'll have the very latest.
Good morning, everybody. Coming up on 8:02 on a Monday. Hope you had a fantastic fantastic weekend. I am in for Mark Kriska. I'm not even sure who I am this morning. I'm Henry DiCarlo. In for Mark this morning. Here is a live look outside. We are looking at cloudy conditions, 63 along the coast for a high today after really wake-up temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Not much of a warm-up. That tells us the marine layer and the onshore push is out there this morning. That will keep temperatures very comfortable inland. We do have a warm-up beginning on Wednesday, Ginger, that could linger all the way into next Monday. So we'll talk about a heat-up on the 7-day. I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes. Over to you for now.
Yeah, I was just looking at those coastal community, the temperatures, the lows about 60 and the high only 63 degrees, so not much a warm up, and I think a lot of that due to that cloud cover that we've been discussing. Now, let's move you over to this 91 East. So they're putting it about Shoemaker once you cross that 605 with a crash. It's sitting in the carpool lane. That's not really as bad as the possibility of some injuries, and that's already being discussed. And you see those delays, even Artesia Boulevard will fill in. This, to me, this is the best that we've seen it. I mean, the 4 o'clock hour was good. It was more so just before 6 when we saw it at a complete standstill. And I say it's good because people were actually...
For the weekend, U.S. Special Forces evacuated all staff from the American embassy there. KTLA's Eric Spillman in the newsroom with more for us. Eric, good morning.
Morning, Frank. Navy SEAL commandos helped get the American embassy personnel out of Sudan. They're members of SEAL Team 6. It's the same elite group of special forces that killed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan in 2011. They used darkness as cover and flew 3 Chinook helicopters very low to the ground without lights on to avoid detection. They took off from a U.S. base in Djibouti and refueled in Ethiopia. Then it was on to Sudan's capital, Khartoum. Once there, they picked up about 100 U.S. diplomats and their families and flew them to safety. A Pentagon spokesman says it was a fast and clean operation that took less than an hour. Other countries are doing the same thing. Italy, the U.K., Germany, France, Spain, and the Netherlands are all evacuating government employees stationed in Sudan. It's just not safe to be there anymore. Fighting between 2 rival factions is intensifying. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the violence poses an unacceptable risk. The U.S. Embassy and many other foreign embassies in Khartoum are now temporarily closed. Sudan is getting closer to civil war. 2 rival generals are trying to gain power. They've been at war with each other for 9 days. A powerful paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Forces is battling the Sudanese army. The 2 sides were on the same team during a coup in 2021. They were supposed to work together as part of a plan to put the country under civilian rule. But their agreement fell apart, and now the violence is escalating. 400 people have been killed, nearly 4,000 wounded. There are an estimated 16,000 Americans still in Sudan. Many are dual nationals, but the U.S. government has no plans to coordinate an effort to get them out and is telling them to shelter in place.
It'll be very difficult to get them out if we even considered that. And so I'm sure what the military is going to be doing is providing as much intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance on the ground there, or as well as our eyes and ears overhead, to see in the event that we do have to evacuate them, that was likely going to be a land evacuation out of Khartoum and other parts of Sudan.
There's word this morning that the U.S. May send Navy ships to Sudan's one port on the Red Sea in case Americans manage to make it to that area by land. All the airports in the country are now closed because of the fighting. Jessica?
Okay, Eric, we thank you for that this morning. Today marks the 108th anniversary of the start of the Armenian genocide. Many people expected to take part in an Armenian genocide remembrance rally for justice later this morning. KTLA's Alina Bovian live in Hollywood with the details. Alina, good morning.
Jessica, good morning. This is a very somber day for the Armenian community, and already this morning we're seeing so many messages of support. Take a look at this. This is from the White House. The president writing this morning saying in part, on April 24, 1915, Ottoman authorities arrested Armenian intellectuals and community leaders in Constantinople, the start of a systemic campaign of violence against the Armenian community. In the years that followed, 1.5 million Armenians were deported, massacred, or marched to their deaths, a tragedy that forever affected generations of Armenian families. And this message this morning from Governor Gavin Newsom saying genocide commemoration is more than a history lesson. It is a powerful tool to engage people across generations in the sanctity of human rights, the enormity of crimes, and how to prevent future atrocities. Last year, the governor signed a bill declaring April 24 as state holiday in California. The genocide has indeed led to generational trauma for Armenians, who are considered some of the most dispersed people in the world. Some historians believe the genocide served as a playbook for the Nazis during the Holocaust. Every April 24, there are rallies and commemoration all over the world to call the Turkish government to stop denying the genocide. Recognition is important because it can lead to reparations for the Armenian people. This year, on the 108th anniversary, it's an opportunity to also bring awareness to what is currently happening in Artsakh, a breakaway region home to 120,000 ethnic Armenians. Since December of last year, a blockade was placed on the Lachen corridor, which is the only road to Armenia. For months, Armenian civilians have endured a cold winter without heat. Schools have been closed, and there is a major shortage of food, medicine, and other essentials. Yesterday, outside the Azerbaijani consulate, a rally was held to call for help for this humanitarian crisis. There are currently allegations of ethnic cleansing taking place in Artsakh, and it all boils down to a very critical gas pipeline for Azerbaijan, and the Armenian people in the region are simply in the way.
There's a blockade of Artsakh where 120,000 people are struggling to get the food and medicine they need. Azerbaijan is killing Armenians along the line of contact, and there's a real risk of another war in the region, another war to try to finish the annihilation of the Armenian people.
And in honor of Armenian History Month here in LA County, we will be airing a special 30-minute segment tonight on KTLA. Coming up at 7 o'clock, stories honoring the past and the people making a positive impact today. Now, back out here live, several rallies are planned for today. The first one happening in Little Armenia in Hollywood at 10 a.m. This is going to be on Western and Hollywood. So if you're not taking part in this march, I do advise that you avoid the area because there will be several road closures and a lot of traffic. That's the very latest. I'm Lena Bourbon reporting live in Hollywood, KTLA 5 News.
Alina, thank you. A former basketball coach at Granada Hills Charter High School has been charged with sexual misconduct involving a minor. 36-year-old Gabriel Chavez was arrested last week on multiple counts of lewd acts with a minor. Los Angeles police say Chavez was working as a coach at Granada Hills Charter when he allegedly engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a minor. His bail has been set at $310,000. Investigators are asking any potential victims to come forward.
Now at 8, a former Walt Disney World employee is facing prison time after being accused of secretly recording a video up the skirt of a female customer. When questioned about it, he allegedly told detectives he'd done it more than 500 times at the Florida theme park over the past 6 years. The man has been identified as 26-year-old Jorge Diaz-Vega. He now faces 1 count of video voyeurism after a witness reportedly caught him in the act. Vega worked in the Star Wars gift shop in Disney World's Hollywood Studios theme park until his arrest. It is not clear if investigators plan to pursue other charges against Vega.
San Bernardino mountain residents and business owners who were affected by the severe winter storms can now apply for federal disaster relief. FEMA is offering grants to help pay for temporary housing and essential home repairs after 100 inches of snow buried mountain communities over the winter. Homeowners are eligible for up to $200,000 in loans to repair or to replace damage, along with up to $40,000 to replace personal property. Businesses and nonprofits can apply for up to $2 million in loans to repair or replace any machinery, equipment, or other assets destroyed during the storms.
6 beaches in Long Beach are back open after a sewage spill caused closures along the stretch of coastline last week. Officials say a sewer line in Downey became clogged, causing 250,000 gallons of raw sewage to spill out into the Los Angeles River, then eventually to the ocean along the Long Beach shoreline. 9 beaches in the area still remain closed. Signs were posted in the sand, but that didn't stop it. Everyone from taking a dip. Officials say they'll test water conditions again today before reopening the rest of the coastline. You can find a full list of closures on our website, Ktla.com.
Man, I spent some time along the coast this weekend up in Santa Barbara, and before that I went for a bike ride up to PV. Oh, every time I do it, I think, gosh, why don't I go to the beach more often?
I know.
It's just, it's right there.
Yeah.
But
See,
it's just so beautiful.
Why can't I live by the beach?
Right, yeah,
I
that would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I mean, regardless of the sewage spill story.
Oh, yeah, let's not worry about that.
And that guy was in there just, he was going under the water.
Yeah.
He had not a care in the world.
Yeah, as long as you spit the water out.
Right. Well, maybe
He didn't mind a bit.
Well, what you don't know sometimes
That's
hurts you,
very
right?
true. I'd rather not know.
Oh, I was just there over the weekend. Beautiful beach weekend, to your point.
Yes.
A little cloudy today.
Yeah.
But the rest of the week, as we start to suffer with some heat in the valleys, by the end of the week into the weekend, it will set up for a beautiful beach weekend. So yes, we're seeing some clouds here along the coast. That marine layer is back, that coastal eddy spinning those clouds inland, keeping things a little bit on the cooler side for the coastal areas for the next couple of mornings. But we will see a beautiful forecast setting up for the coast.